they've shown about the combat looks absolutely fantastic. I'm loving how visceral the hits feel, how physics-based a lot of the interactions actually really look like they are. There's a controlled chaos to it, where you're smashing the scenery, tossing people around. Brutal, but looks like it has a lot of depth. Could make for some pretty interesting and exciting combinations.
When we come to the table, it's what we all bring that matters. San Pellegrino, bring your best.
And number 8, there are 2 new playable characters. Out of all the things that were revealed in this first features overview video, this is probably one of the craziest. For years, we all assumed there was only 1 playable character in the game, but that's not the case. The latest footage shows us there will actually be 3 playable characters, and each have their own equipment, combat styles, and skills. Not much is actually known about the 2 other characters, only that you eventually recruit them to your cause, and they can be used freely when playing side content. It sounds like Cliff remains the main character, and you have to play as him when you progress in the main story, but for everything else, sounds like there may be a huge chunk of the game that is everything else, might I add. For everything else, though, you can play as a kid. One is a woman who uses a lot of ranged weapons like pistols and rifles, along with a rapier for close range combat, and the other is an orc who has a lot more brutal of a combat style with access to heavy weapons, like a great axe and literal hand cannon. Each character looks pretty distinct. They're not reskinned the main guy. They have access to stuff the main character doesn't, and overall from the previews, seems like they play pretty differently. So while they're maybe not essential characters, you can't play the entire game as them as far as I can tell. They do seem to add a lot of variety to the experience, and they let you engage with the world in a completely different way than if you were playing the entire game as the main character. And number 7, the many types of traversal abilities. One of the most fascinating things about Crimson Desert is how many options this game seems to give you in the world. It seems to start off simply enough with a horse mount and the ability to climb any surface, Breath of the Wild style. There's free falling, there's a glider. Again, this stuff takes inspiration from the open world Zeldas, requires stamina to stay afloat, makes sense. There's also a full-on grappling hook, which seems to be able to grab onto any surface and either pull you towards it or allow you to swing from it. These things will be chained together with the glide ability to really get around the world quickly. A horse is not the only thing that you can ride either. You can also ride a bear. It's about making it an open world worth exploring. In their previews and interviews, Pearl Abyss has put a lot of emphasis on the fact that the world will be full of unique and interesting points of interest to discover on your own. There are, of course, going to be a ton of quests, but what interests me about this game is that a lot of the world is seemingly unmarked, and they're leaving it up to the inquisitive and intrepid players to discover things about the world. They made it clear that there is not a strict path to follow. There's some aspect the progression will be non-linear. It's up to the player to explore. There's going to be Red Dead-style treasure maps, secret doors, puzzles that are dotted around the world. Bosses are apparently going to also play a major role in exploration. A lot of these things you can just find out in the world, or they're hiding out in some hard-to-reach area, but it's not just unique encounters. The game also seems to have a strong puzzle-solving element to it as well, like world puzzles. But also there's floating ruins and fragments of the abyss, which seem to hide more complex Tears of the Kingdom-style puzzle areas, where you can, among other things, manipulate objects with like laser tethers and move them around, reposition them to trigger mechanisms, etc. From what I've seen, it seems like the world has a ton of stuff to discover, which plays a central role in how you build your character. And number 5 is the progression systems. Another aspect of Crimson Desert seems pretty unique for a game that, I mean, is like this, is the progression. It's not necessarily tied to experience meter. I'm not 100% sure how it works, but from the previews, it sounds like you're mostly improving your character by finding, buying, and upgrading equipment from vendors around the world, and acquiring artifacts, which can be found in a bunch of different ways. Some you get for completing quests, some are found for clearing out enemy camps and combat encounters, others you get just from exploring, and of course a lot of these things are held by bosses. Artifacts are how you increase your core stats. They raise your health or stamina. Breath of the Wild style. It's a new term. We took Wild style and we added Breath of the. It's not all they do, though. They unlock new skills or abilities or allow you to power up existing ones. Equipment seems, I think, to play an important role here. Finding weapons and armor.
What the hell? That's my internet speed? Why am I dropping?
Strength. At least that's the impression I'm getting. Along the way, you can also customize your equipment with bonus stats.
What the fuck is my ping at 3?
Make them more powerful using a special vendor. Upgrading your equipment requires resources, which are obtained through mining or hunting animals. Other resources can be earned by beating bosses as well. So there's a crafting system, pretty simplified looking though. You just need to have stuff you give to a blacksmith or an enchanter, and they do it. At least that's how it again how it looks in the previews. At least one more thing you can do to progress your characters.
Introducing virtual up.
Let me exit out of this bitch. I'm not playing this. Werewolf. There, wolf. Is this game not even out yet? Pre-purchase? When the fuck do you come out? Okay, when does it come out though? Oh, so it comes out this month. Okay. Well, I'll be buying it. Is the TV turned up? Why the hell are these Resident Evils? Ooh, what is this? The heck? Ew. 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 Oh, you got a gun? Alright, I'm restarting the streaming PC.